right as Elizabeth arrived in Brazil, and she just started wandering around. She had taken a trip to Rio for 2 weeks, but she ended up staying almost 20 years. This is her first day. Elizabeth left the apartment and began wandering through the streets with no destination in mind, turning here, turning there, whenever something caught her eye, a little park or shop. Shanties ascended the nearly vertical hillside that separated Copacabana from the rest of Rio, so close to the balconies of the apartment buildings that the rich and poor could practically shake hands. It really was a mad sort of place, half jungle with bromeliads and orchids and tangles of vines in the branches above, and ginger and flamboyant trees blooming furiously everywhere, so much green, and native people dancing to drum beats from their radios, and half 20th century megalopolis, with the most modern skyscrapers of glass and steel and buses threatening to run you down every time you stepped off the curb. That people wore hardly any clothes was beginning to seem sensible. You didn't have to possess a body like a clothespin. The heat was infernal. It was crazy to be bound by the custom of clothing. The sky began to spit sporadic raindrops, and just as Elizabeth ducked beneath the awning of a fruit juice bar on a corner, the heavens opened up. She was instantly pressed against the humanity stranded there by the deluge, a businessman on one side, a 20-year-old beauty in an extremely tight dress on the other. Elizabeth couldn't help but notice that the skin around the girl's eyes was perfectly unlined. It was remarkable. The girl caught Elizabeth staring, and she smiled. The placard over the bar listed the names of mysterious fruits: abacaxi, maracujá, fruta de conji. When the boy behind the counter spoke to her, she pointed to one and attempted to pronounce it. For a while, she sipped the juice, deliciously tart, and watched Copacabana go by. The rain lessened, and her fellow refugees drifted from beneath the awning back into the street. When in doubt, Elizabeth thought happily, take action. That should be written on her hand in indelible ink. There was a moment after you'd arrived in a new place. After you'd lived there for a time, it didn't matter where, as easily Paris as Mexico City, when the great map of it finally snapped into place in your mind. You no longer remembered the initial period when you hadn't known precisely where you were, how you might be placed in relation to historical landmarks or the apartments of friends, or when it was really 50 if right or left would bring you to your destination. But Elizabeth loved that early time before the switch, when the place was still outside of her grasp. You wandered in a maze, and every turn brought something new, a constant surprise. You didn't know where the streets might lead you. You were constantly lost, but you didn't mind. You had no reason not to feel lost, because of course you were lost. How could you not?